Hello, welcome to the next series on fractions. This will be fractions with exponents, and we'll also look at fractions with order operations, including exponents. Before we get started, let's remind ourselves that an exponent indicates repeated multiplication. So go ahead and take a second to write that reminder down, repeated multiplication. Okay, so when we have fractions, in example 1, it says that we need to evaluate and write our answer as a fraction in simplest form. Well, I've got 7/8 squared, or 7/8 to the second power. This actually is equal to, if we remember, the exponent means repeated multiplication, so that means we're going to multiply 7/8 two times. When we do this, we're going to get 7 times 7, which is 49, and 8 times 8, which is 64. So the exponent is the number of times we multiply. It was to the second power, so I multiplied twice. Let's look at another example. In example 2, it says to evaluate and write your answer as fractions. So let's look at example 2 and our fractions that we have. Here it says we have negative 2/5 to the second power. This means that I multiply 2/5 two times. So I'll have negative 2/5 times negative 2/5. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 5 is 25. And my answer is negative times negative, so it's a positive 4 over 25. Let's look at the bottom one. Remember from our previous videos with negatives and exponents that this little negative sign here means find the opposite. It says I have 4/3 to the fourth power, so that means I'm going to multiply 4 times. So I'm going to have 4/3 times 4/3 times 4/3 times 4/3. I know that 4 times 4 is 16, and 4 times 4 is 16. So that means I need to multiply 16 times 16. Well, let's actually go this way. 4 times 4 is 16. Times 4 is 64. And then we have to do 64 times 4, which I don't know what that is. So I'll do 64 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 1 is 256. Over 3 times 3 is 9. Times 3 is 27. 27 times 3 is 81. Now this could be my final answer, but next I have to go find the opposite of that value, so it's going to be negative 256 over 81. Let's look at another example because we get a different notation here. In this example, I have 4 over 3 cubed. Notice how that the cubed is only on the 3, which means that I only do 3 to the third power. So this is actually going to look like 4 over 3 times 3 times 3. And this actually equals 4 over 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. Lastly, I have negative 2/3 squared. So this means that I multiply my negative 2/3 two times. So I have negative 2 over 3 times negative 2 over 3. Negative 2/3 times negative 2/3 equals 4 over 9. Since there were two negatives, it's going to be positive. One last thing to remember is that when we're doing our exponents, we need to make sure that we're writing out our repeated multiplication. Okay, that's key. Exponents are repeated multiplication. Okay, good luck.